What's going on, everybody? I'm Average Joe, and welcome to another average video where we do average tests. Today's average test, we're going to continue testing the 415 watt bifacial Sirius solar panels from Signature Solar. Now, in one of the last test videos, I asked the question is, should I put these on the roof, which I was originally thinking of doing. I bought, mounts and stuff to do that. Or should I mount them on the ground? Basically because they are bifacial panels. If I put them up on the roof, I don't make use of that. If I put them on the ground, I have the potential to, make use of the bifacial gain. And of course, a majority of you guys said, put them on the ground so you can make use of that. And here's my cat, by the way. And then there was a couple of you that did say put them on the roof because having watched all my other solar panel videos, you'll know I have got a bunch of trees in my yard. And if I put them on the ground, on a ground mount in that little area, that area doesn't get full sun really until like 12:30, okay? So we have to wait until 12:30 in order to get power. If they're on the roof, I will get power, a little bit sooner. Hey, buddy, how's it going? Everybody wants to see you. Turn around and say hi. Here, you want to say hi? Say hi, dude. What, are you shy now? Huh? Yeah? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, all right, so out of all of the comments that said basically put them on the ground and just shut up, I had one comment made by Bo, I think it's Bo Hunters. He suggested why not make a test of putting a couple on the roof and then putting a couple on the ground, which I think is a great idea. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. We're gonna be putting a couple on the roof and we're gonna be putting a couple on the ground mount and we're gonna let it run for about a week and see how they compare. All right, and we're gonna be hooking up those two arrays to the 6,000 watt Lux Power inverter right here because it has two MPPT charge controllers in it. The only issue that we might run into is the MPPT voltage range is 120 volts to 385 volts. If we do 4 panels in series, we're just gonna barely make the 120 volts. So hopefully we don't run into any issues with just 4 panels. And of course, I do have the Wi-Fi dongle connected down here so we can get all that data. One last thing before we get started, if you're not into, like the journey of me, doing everything, you can just skip right to the end to see the results. Alrighty, let's get to it. All right, so the plan's gonna be is to remove all of these solar panels. There's 10 202 watt solar panels and then put 4 of the bifacials on here. Now technically I can't fit 4 on this rack. I do have to extend these rails over here just a little bit in order for all 4 panels to fit. So for my plan for these, since I don't have the extension rails from Signature Solar, I do have some small pieces of the unistrut, and I think really all I'm gonna do is just bolt it right on the side. So I'm gonna drill some holes in the side of here and then on the side of here and then just bolt it on there, and then I can use the mounting hardware that goes to the unistrut. All right, so that's the plan for right now. So up on the roof, we're gonna basically put 2 panels across and then 2 down for a total of 4. What do you got going on? Nothing. And then I'll run some PV wire over to my pot that covers my entry right over here. Yes, I still haven't done this. We'll run the wires straight down there so we can access the inverter. Alrighty, so I got my tools and stuff right here. Got a drill, got a socket wrench, and then I've got 12 of these snap and rack mounts right here. Now I'm not going to be mounting these to the roof or anything like that. Basically I just took the lag bolts out of there so we can at least assemble the panels on the roof somewhat how they technically would be. Hopefully we don't get any storms or anything like that. The forecast doesn't show anything for the next week, so I think we'll be okay for this test. And today's probably the best day to do this because it is complete cloud cover and it's only going to be about 80 degrees. Tomorrow, actually, it's supposed to be around 100 degrees, and then the rest of the week it's supposed to be, 90 to 95 degrees. So today is literally the best day that I can get this done. Alrighty, there we go. We got these 4 panels installed. Again, I'm not mounting them permanently to the roof or anything like that. I mean, they look really, really good up here. I'll say that, of course. Any solar panel, I guess, looks really, really good. Next thing we're gonna do is run some PV cable to those connectors over there, over to the pot over here, and then down into the garage. Snip. I think I cut some extra wires on that one. I'll just make a new one. All right, those are made. We go to the other side. Snip. Remove my pot. Go hook up the panels temporarily. 137.8. All right, so this one's my positive. I'm just gonna mark it so I don't forget. Okay, I'm gonna disconnect those. All right, these are not live anymore, just FYI. Will give us about a foot up here. Honestly, I don't know why I didn't just go through the hole before. How's it going? I know why I didn't worry about doing that, because I thought I was going to be able to get to the easy solar mount much sooner, but I haven't. It's just how it goes sometimes. We'll throw our pot back on, our rainproof cover. There we go. All right, now we are somewhat watertight. All right, array 1 is at 0 watts. I'm getting ready to connect it right meow, and we'll see what it goes to. Alrighty, so we got 343 volts. We scroll down a little bit. We're at 120.3 volts, which is just barely in the MPPT range. And then a little bit further down, we're doing 2.8 amps. All right, and again, it is super, super cloudy out. All right, so we will start working on array 2. All right, step 1 is our wiring. Actually, step 1 is removing this spider. Oh, not towards the camera. Hey there, little guy. Can you hold it? All right, I guess step 1 is to see if there's any more spiders. Step 2 is turn this array off. Step 3 is to disconnect all the wiring, and my wiring is normally not hanging down like this. I had it all nice and neat, and then I started testing power stations and stuff, so then I would rewire the array. So then I just got tired of putting all the wires back up, so I stopped doing it. All the panels are disconnected. All right, next step, I'm gonna loosen all the top center clamps. Okay, hopefully it doesn't just fall right off. All right, these 2 panels should be ready to go now. It's gonna be loud. That's the worst sound in the world. So they don't make the panels like they used to. We get a close-up of that sound for you. All right, last 2 are the end clamps. Okay. Boom! Kind of crazy seeing it like this again. Really crazy. And just FYI, this thing is
This thing is super, super strong, okay? You don't have to worry about anything. Now, of course, I did put little braces down there for the wintertime snow, but even before I did that, you know, you could still do this, all right? It's not a problem at all. All right, so these panels measure 44 5/8, so roughly 45 inches. So we need 45 times 4. I don't remember how long these rails are. All right, so we measure 179 5/8. We literally need 3/8 of an inch. So we can put all 4 panels on here. So I'm gonna add my little braces onto this side, and I'm only gonna add, I don't know, just a couple inches, because that's all we need, really. And I think I'm just gonna wing it. I think that's what we're doing here, it's just winging it. All right, so this is what I got so far. I think that's gonna work. At least that's what I'm gonna do for the other ones. Nice. Okay. Boom, there we go. I think that worked out pretty darn good. So basically, I drilled my 5/16 hole in these two right here, and then a 1/2 inch hole right here, so I could insert my bolt through there. And then on the other side, I just used the nut that typically goes inside right here. So I think that worked out pretty darn good. I mean, I guess there's a little bit of flex there, but I don't think it's gonna be too bad. All right, I think I'm gonna stick with it and move on to the next one. All right, there we go. I think that actually worked out really, really good. And I think this one actually went on just a little bit better. I don't know, maybe I just lined it up a little bit better. Alrighty, next thing I need to do is find my new center point, since that changed just slightly since we added those. And once we do that, we can start adding on the panels. All right, so my new total length is almost 184 inches, which is basically 15 feet 4 inches. So I need to be roughly 92, will be my new center point. We'll mark that right here. This is just so I know where to line up my panels. I'll probably do it on the upper one as well. Make sure we're the same. Yeah, almost dead on. 92, I'll put a center clamp right here, which will probably fall. Set one right over there. That's gonna get loud. All right, here we go. All right. And I got about 2 cells above up there, 2 cells below down here. Please don't fall while I walk away. All right, cue the noise. This side, I used one of the Z brackets that came with this kit, and I just drilled out the hole a little bit bigger so I could use this, I think it's a 3/8 bolt, and then the unistrut nuts that kind of slide in here. Boom. Nice. Boom! Look at that. You know what? This looks really, really good. I mean, the other 10 panels looked really good, but this looks really good. I don't know, I guess I just really like the black on black. The only downside right now is all of these are silver, so you got little silver specks everywhere, but I guess that's all right. But holy crap, this looks really good, minus my mess down there, now that you can see it. Yeah, that looks really good. Really good. Okay, anyway, next thing we need to do is I need to unclip all the wires so I can wire all of these in series, and then we will run it into my little box right here, which snakes right inside and then goes over to the inverter. All right, we're gonna check the voltage real quick. Make sure we're good to go. All right, so we're basically 138 volts and the wiring is correct. And of course this is open circuit voltage. We'll go ahead and flip on the circuit breaker. I just want to say real quick that this does look really good with these 4 panels on it. I don't know, I might be able to get more power just out of these 4 panels versus the 10 of the other panels. But either way, looks really good, and it looks really different. All right, time now is 5 o'clock and we just hooked up the ground mount finally. Today's date is Friday, August 23rd, and that's gonna be the start of the test. So array 1 is up on the roof, and that is an east facing roof, and we're getting 400 watts from that array. And then the ground mount that we just connected is south facing, and we're getting 800 watts from that array. Alrighty, so I guess we will make a note of the time and all that kind of stuff and start our test.
The next day.
All right, we're going to start going over some of the results, and we're going to take a look at solar assist first, and this is going to be 8/24 or Saturday. So I've got everything on inverter 2 in the color of green, and then we don't have to worry about inverter 1. That's going to be the 12K with, you know, different arrays on it. So anyway, we're going to be looking at the voltage first. Basically in the morning, we start getting some voltage at 620, just a couple of volts. And then right at 633, we're up to 115 volts, okay? This is for array 1, which is on the roof. And then if we go down just a little bit further, roughly 7 o'clock, we're at 135 volts, okay? That's probably about the same for both arrays. They basically reach 130 volts at 7 a.m., okay? All right, let me scroll down just a little bit to the power. All right, again, same thing, inverter 2 is listed in green. All right, so if we go over to, 6:30 in the morning, we're making 0 power on array 1 and array 2. And we don't actually start making power until 10:49 a.m. We're making 431 watts. And then just a few minutes later at 10:50, we're up to 720. And then right around 11 o'clock, we're making just over 1 kilowatt worth of power, okay? And it kind of stays, minus the clouds, it kind of stays just above 1 kilowatt. And then around 2:30 is when we start going under 1,000 watts. And then I'm sure we had a bunch of clouds in this little area right here from 4 o'clock to 4 to 5 o'clock. We get another little burst of energy up to 710, and then we just start going down from there. This is array 1, this is on the roof, okay? And then basically we drop down to 0 power at 8 o'clock, okay? And it's kind of the same thing for array 2, which is the ground mount. We don't start making any power until 10:50 a.m., all right? Keep in mind this is still in the shade right now, and it won't get full sun until basically 12:30. So at 12:30 we start making 1 kilowatt worth of power. And again, same thing, it basically stays at 1,000 watts. We get a bunch of clouds in this area, and then around 5 o'clock, it starts going down from there. And then around 8 o'clock, we're making 4.8 watts of power. All right, so that's what the 2 arrays did on day 1. And if we want to look at the Lux Power app, it basically shows all the same thing. Right up here is going to be your color keys, okay? Can't really do anything about the brightness or anything like that. This is just what shows up right here. But it basically shows the exact same thing. However, my time is off 1 hour, okay? All right, I'm not gonna show you how much I produced until I go over the other days, okay? So we'll go to day 2. All right, day 2, which is 8:25, and again, it's all basically the same. However, we had more sun and less clouds, okay? So again, starting with the voltage down here, roughly 6:30 a.m., the voltage starts, or the MPPT charge controllers kick on, and that's basically it. And then roughly, 7 o'clock, it gets up to 130 volts all the way until probably 10:44, and you see that little tiny drop in voltage right here. That's basically when the charge controllers technically kick on and start producing power. Okay, same thing for array 2, which is the ground mount. It's pretty much identical as the day before. And then at 10:44, 10:45 is whenever the current starts, okay? We'll scroll down here to the actual power. All right, so for array 1, same thing. 10:45 is basically whenever it kicks on. We shoot up to 708 watts at 10:48. And then basically 11 o'clock, we're above 1,000 watts, okay? We did get one little peak, which was 1.17 thousand watts. Alrighty, and then from there, we basically hang out at 1,000 watts, and then around 2:30 is whenever it starts going down. And then right at 4:45, we're at 580, and then we just kind of shoot down to roughly 150 watts, at 5:15, and it just slowly goes off from there. Same thing for array 2, which is the ground mount. Right at 10:45, we're at 118 watts. We basically have just a tiniest amount of sun on the array because of the trees. And then roughly 12 o'clock, we start getting just a little bit more, and then boom, right at 12:30 is whenever the shade finally gets off the array. We're above 1,000 watts, okay? We got a little tiny peak of 1.12 thousand watts at 12:38, and then we basically maintain 1,000 watts until 3:30, and then we just start going down from there. Same thing as the previous day, but I will say that these last 2 days, it's basically been 100 degrees out, and I'll show you that real quick. All right, time now is 3:27 on 8/26, and we're showing 98.8 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're gonna go outside and check the temperature of the panels. We will check the ground mount first. Hopefully I can get this in camera view. So we're sitting at 138.5, which is 59 degrees Celsius. 142 I saw in there, 140, 141. All right, that's basically, I saw 144.5 in there, all right? So these panels are super hot. All right, let's go up on the roof and check those. All righty, up on the roof array, look at that. We already got some, I don't know what that is. Kind of looks like some, I don't know, maybe a spider web. Anyway, all right, so up on the roof, these ones are actually a little bit cooler, but again, it's like 3:30, so it's not like 100% direct sunlight or anything, but it's pretty close. Probably should have checked these ones a little while ago, but I didn't. So these ones are actually just slightly cooler. I still find that kind of crazy. I mean, there's our shadow right there. Okay, sun right up there, of course. So yeah, 134 degrees freedom, 56.8 degrees Celsius. Should check these over here while we're up here. Just for the hell of it. 127, 138. And those are 147. So these ones are going to be a little bit hotter because they're a little closer to the roof there. Crazy. And then if you want to see how hot the roof is, we're at 166 roughly. We'll go just above, right up here. 161, 160 freedom, 71 degrees C. All right, it's too hot. I'm getting back down.
And then again, if you want to see the Lux Power app, it basically shows the exact same thing. However, we're just an hour off. I need to fix that, by the way. Yeah, it's all basically the same thing here in one convenient little chart, all right?
4 to 6 days later.
Alrighty, today is Thursday, August 29th at 9:08 a.m. and I think we're going to basically wrap up this test, and I actually need to remove the panels from the roof because there's a marginal risk of severe weather today. So we got a wind threat and a hail threat. And if I just click on that, so mostly cloudy skies this morning, followed by thunderstorms during the afternoon. If I go to the hourly right here, basically after 4 p.m. all the way until midnight is basically when the storms are supposed to be here. So I need to pull those panels off the roof because they're not, you know, mounted to anything at all. They're just sitting up there. And also what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the panels off the ground mount and put my old panels back on there. The only reason I'm going to do that is because the voltage is kind of low with all four in series. I'm not really in the MPPT range for this inverter and the charge controller that's attached to it. So I think I'm going to put my old panels back on there because I'll be in that voltage range and I'll be able to charge a little bit sooner and later, therefore getting more kilowatt hour. All right, so that's what we're going to do next.
All right, so I got it rewired in a 5S 2P, and we're gonna check the voltages of each real quick. One is more in shade than the other right now. All right, 312 for that one, and this one we have 300. Cool. Over here and turn it on.
Boom, panels are back up. All right, so how I have this wired is in a 5S 2P. These two panels right down here, and then those three up there are all wired in series. And then for this side, it's these three and then those two. Basically, I did it that way because you can see the shade kind of basically moves across the array like that. So I could get more power with those 5 panels starting first. All right, we'll go inside and take a look. All right, down here, we'll check in on solar assist. All right, so right now, out of all 5 systems, we're making 6,054 watts. Time now is 11:40. We'll click on the inverter right down here. We'll scroll down to the PV power, and we want inverter 2. So right now we're basically doing 1,280 watts combined between that little ground mount, or both ground mounts I should say. Array 1 is gonna be the west facing array, and then array 2 is south. All right, so array 1 we're getting 546, which that won't get very much sun for like another hour or so. And then the other ground mount, which is not, you know, in full sunlight or anything like that, again, which won't be for at least another 45 minutes, we're getting 722 watts. And then of course, if you care about the voltage, 315, which is a 6S, and then 220, which is a 5S 2P. All right, so not too bad.
All right, so instead of going over every single day now, I'm just gonna show you the entire test, okay? So back here on the 23rd, that's whenever we started it. So these peaks right here, this is the array that was originally there, okay? And then we disconnected it, and then we hooked up, you know, the new array. So that's what this peak is, and this peak is out here, okay? All right, so this is just the voltage. You can see it's all basically the same. And then same thing for array 2, it all looks pretty much the same. We'll scroll down here to the power in watts, and you can see it's all basically the same again. Then on the 27th, it looked like we had a lot of clouds,
yeah, basically they both represent the same thing. Okay, so that's what all of this looks like on Solar Assist. I technically can't give you the total output on here unless I do some other stuff, but it's easier to show you the total output on the Lux Power app. So we'll go to that one. All right, so this is basically the entire month. The 23rd and the 29th we're not really counting because it was kind of half and half of old and new arrays. So we're just gonna go from the 24th to the 28th. All right, so PV Array 1, which is on the roof, we got a total of 6.1 kilowatt hour. Day 2, which is the 25th, we got a total of 6.3 kilowatt hour, and these 2 days right here we were above 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, moving on, 26th we got 5.2 kilowatt hour, and the 27th we also got 5.2 kilowatt hour, and then the very last day we got 6.1 kilowatt hour. Okay, this is all from the roof right here. If we take a look at PV Array 2, we'll start with the 24th. We only got 5.4 kilowatt hour. 25th, we got 5.8. 26th, we got 5.3. 27th, we got 4.8. 28th, we got 5.9 kilowatt hour. Okay, so if you want to see the total for both of them combined, on the 24th, we got 11.5 kilowatt hour. The 25th, we got 12.1. 26th, we got 10.5. 27th, we got 10 even. And the 28th, we got 12 kilowatt hour. All right, so that is not too bad for those panels here. All right, and I want to just show an example of the old solar panels that were there. Combined, they're both ground mounts over there. So we got 15.4 right here, 16.1, 14.6, a really cloudy day, we got 5.3, and then 15 kilowatt hour. All right, so that is a 2,000 watt array and a 1,200 watt array. All right, that's just an example of the old to the new set of panels. All right, so there you go. Alrighty, after seeing those results, I'm still unsure of whether I should put them on the roof or on a ground mount. Honestly, because the results, I mean, they were just really close. I mean, even on, what was it? I don't know, one of the middle days, I think it was the 26th or the 27th, the roof made 5.2 kilowatt hour, and then the ground actually made 5.3 kilowatt hour. So yeah, I mean, the ground mount, it was literally just a few hundred watt hours behind the roof mounts. Also, there was one other thing that Bowhunter did suggest in that comment, was maybe putting something reflective behind the ground mount panels to make use of the bifacial gains, which I did not do. I didn't really have anything good enough, you know, that's reflective to put back there. So another commenter suggested using a white tarp. So I do have a white tarp on order. Whenever that comes in, I'll just make another quick little video. I'll put the panels, you know, leaning on the ground mount now and on the ground or something. I'll come up with something and we'll put the white tarp behind there and see how much it improves. So anyway, I didn't put anything reflective behind the panels. I just wanted it to be as it is, you know, and whatever was there, you know, was there. After seeing those results, again, I'm just not sure which one I should do, on the roof or on the ground. Here's an idea. How about you guys decide? I'll let it run for, I don't know, a week or so, and then I'll count how many people say ground mount, I'll count how many people say roof mount, and then whichever one wins. Seems like a perfectly logical solution, right? Now, I guess there is one other thing that I could still test, is I could put another 4 panels on a west-facing roof that faces the front of my house, which I'm still not ready to do yet. I could put a couple up there for a week, again, as long as we don't have any storms, and test that and see how that goes. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about that part. All right, that's pretty much all I got. I'm pretty sure this video's gone on long enough. So just as always, if anybody's looking for any batteries or solar panels or anything like that from Signature Solar, they gave me a $50 off discount code, which is Average Joe 10. You can pretty much use that on any order above $500. All right, well, if this video is helpful in any way, don't forget to like that smash button on your way out, and I will see you On the all right, if it'll focus. Focus. I have to cover up that sticker so nobody sees how much power I'm making. So, yeah, that's basically my plan. All right, we're gonna start going over some of the revolts.